MVP が発表され見事大谷選手が満票でナリーグの MVP に選出されました。自身3度目の MVP となり DH としては史上初の受賞となります。このままあと3年プレーすれば殿堂入りはほぼ間違いないでしょう。その大谷選手の殿堂入りともし今キャリアを終えたら殿堂入りできるのかについて JM ベースボールの番組で議論されていました。
Pretty good first season for Shohei Ohtani in Los Angeles. He strikes it rich. He wins the World Series. And oh yeah, he added a third MVP to the treasure chest. Shohei?
思ってるので
Yeah, I'm just taking, I think this MVP is, I'm just representing the Dodgers. It was a complete team effort. I wouldn't have been able to receive this award if it weren't for my teammates. Obviously, if my teammates weren't there, we didn't play as a team, we would not have even got to the playoffs or won the World Series. So for me, again, I'm just taking this as, I'm representing the team receiving this award.
That, of course, the voice of his interpreter, Matt Hidaka. First of all, did you think that there was going to be any way that Shohei could have won the MVP strictly without pitching and as a DH?
No, because I think I even said that prior to the season. Hey, this is your chance if you're in the NL to win an MVP award because Shohei is going to be there, dominating for the foreseeable future. But I mean, he had an incredible season, and I think the magnitude of a 50-50 season can't be kind of understated. I know people are going to say, well, stolen bases are up and they don't mean as much anymore. I disagree. I think they mean just as much. Are they a little bit easier to come by now? Sure, but we've never seen anything like this. 50-50 is a true benchmark, and for him to be able to do that while also, leading the NL in runs scored, homers, RBI, slugging percentage, OPS. I mean, I don't know. I feel like whenever you doubt him in the very, smallest way, like he's just going to continue to prove you wrong. It seems like on day in and day out, he was doing something really special. So I was a little shocked that, he put up the type of numbers that he put up, but I don't think you should be shocked by Shohei anymore. Just, you can't be that way.
And part of it, I think, is that there was nobody like a Bobby Witt that was that significantly like Francisco Lindor had a great year, an unbelievable year, and was the catalyst of an enormous 4-month turnaround that they had in Queens. But his overall numbers were just dwarfed by Shohei Ohtani. So if there was somebody, like I said, like a Bobby Witt Jr., who had an amazing year, 30-30 for the second time, led his team to the playoffs, for the first time in 7 years, then I could see, or 9 years, I guess it was, nice math, Rose, then I could see it possibly going a different direction. But because there was nobody that statistically pushed Shohei the way that anybody did, maybe an Aaron Judge, who, of course, was a unanimous winner in the American League, possibly. But
I think Aaron Judge wins it over Shohei if it's a league-wide MVP this year. I do.
I think so, too, but I would love to have seen that vote. I mean, I think it would have been...
The 50-50 thing looms large in people's heads. I promise you that. But I think overall, offensively, I'd give it to Judge. And the fact that he obviously played the field means something, too.
So the bigger question we've got with Shohei, this is now his third MVP award, and that's pretty high territory. There's only 9 other guys that have done that now.
Crazy.
He has to play another 3 full seasons to qualify for a spot in Cooperstown. So let's just say he's an average baseball player, both as a pitcher and as a hitter over the next 3 years. Is there any question he's getting into Cooperstown? How much more does he have to accomplish?
I think that he's probably already there just because of those 3 MVP awards. I mean, are the rest of those 9 guys in the Hall of Fame? I'm assuming yes. Well, somebody that didn't make it?
There's a bunch that haven't, but the only guys...
How is that?
Well, first of all, 2 of them are not even eligible, Trout and Pujols.
Okay.
There you go. The other 8, going all the way back, from oldest to most recent, are Jimmy Fox, Joe DiMaggio, Roy Campanella, Yogi Berra, Mickey Mantle, Mike Schmidt, and then the 2 Barry Bonds and A-Rod.
Okay, so... Barry Bonds, A-Rod, not in the Hall of Fame. 2 guys aren't eligible Hall of Fame. The rest of those guys are in the Hall of Fame.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, he's in. He's in. I mean, I think, my stance on the Hall of Fame. The impact that Shohei has had on the game as well, I think, needs to be talked about, and part of his legacy. But the overall numbers, he hasn't he hasn't had the counting stats, 225 homers, the benchmark's 500 homers. And you can talk about all those counting stats. I think he'll eventually get there because obviously he's playing for so much longer. But if you're talking about his career ending in 3 years, I think the 3 MVPs and the the non-steroid part of his tenure, I think he's going to be a unanimous Hall of Famer. I do.
By the way, do you think they would change the voting rules if, God forbid, something happened and he couldn't play baseball anymore? Do you think they would?
I don't
know. I think that's the better question because I think he's going to continue to have some numbers that push him well over 350, 400 homers. At the end of the day, we're going to be like, what are we even doing discussing this? Like, this is,
So if his career ended right now, that's the question, I guess, now.
Yeah.
They're pretty, they don't change rules very often over there at the Hall of Fame voting. They are very, they have their ways. In my mind, yeah, he already is. Again, like this, we're talking about impact, 7 years of dominance, 3 MVP awards. I think that there shouldn't be a Hall of Fame of baseball without Shohei Ohtani in it.
What is the word fame short for? Famous. Now, it doesn't mean that everybody who plays baseball that turns into a famous person needs to be in Cooperstown. But when they have changed the history of the sport, where we are talking one of one, where guys, how many guys have had a bigger influence on the sport than Shohei Ohtani? I think it's a very, very small number.
And he's done something that nobody else has ever done, Chris. Like, the way he is offensively and the way he pitches, it just has not been done in the history of the game. Maybe you can talk about in the 1800s, but I don't even think then. So he has to be in the Hall of Fame.
今キャリアを終えたら殿堂入りできるのかというのはとても興味深い内容で、絶対にそんなことはあってほしくないですが、もしそうなったら議論が巻き起こりそうですね。あと3年プレーすればほぼ確実に殿堂入りですが、ホームラン500本や投手としてのタイトルやサイ・ヤング賞などとともに満票での選出に期待したいです。まだまだ先の話になりますが、来年以降も素晴らしいプレーを期待します。